The beautiful voice of Paul Potts from his brand new CD, Cinema Parody, so brand new, just literally a few weeks ago. Beautiful stuff, Paul, nice.
Thank you.
Did you find a difference when you went from being a guy that can sing to being a product? All of a sudden, you know, you're whacking out those high notes now with the confidence of a sort of pro of many, many years. Was there a sort of change?
My feeling of singing hasn't changed. I still love to do it in the same way I've always done. I've always felt, since I started doing this, I've always found it incredibly important that if it ever became work, that should be the time to stop. Because I've been given a huge opportunity, and this is the reason why I'm always incredibly nervous before I perform. That never changes. I'm always incredibly nervous, and you have to control the nerves, but you need them too to help you perform. But I still enjoy it the same way I've always done. It still feels the same to me, and it literally doesn't feel like work to go to places, wonderful places like here in Hong Kong, and see that wonderful skyline and eat so much great
food. Yeah.
As you can tell, I like my food.
It's interesting. What did you learn cooking when you went to Italy?
I taught myself when I was at university by making lots of mistakes, which is the best way to learn.
I think so.
That's the best way to learn anything. You only learn things when you make a mistake.
But enjoying it at the same time and being inspired. You talk about work, so have you juggled it now so that it's work when you do it, but you can choose what you do?
It never actually feels like work at all. I just love doing it, and it's been great to have more of an influence on this particular record, and it's, you know, it's some songs like, you know, Moon River, just very iconic and very simple but very beautiful at the same time. And I've been very careful to pick songs that, you know, people do know, but they're beautiful at the same time. It's not cheapening it. It's just picking some of the most beautiful songs that everybody would know, and I've tried to vary things in the dynamics as well this time as well, so that people could listen to the whole thing in one go.
It's interesting what people perceive as cheesy. I mean, just because there's some beautiful classical music. There used to be this record label called K-Tel, I don't know if it's still around, you know, and you'd get these records at the petrol station, and it would have, you know, Ferrellis and all that stuff on it, and people go, oh, it's just junk, pot boiler rubbish. Well, it's not. It's just that that's what people hear the most of. So cheap, I don't think it's cheapening at all.
Well, I think that people tend to be very comfortable with things they know, and you can't. Well, there's an old saying, isn't there? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Exactly.
But you know, people will listen to what moves them, and I think that's really important. It's not the genre of music that it comes from. It's all about what moves people and what makes them feel good.
Great, lots of heart. One of the tracks on your new CD is from what some people say is the hardest musical in the book, which is called West Side Story. I want to wrap up by playing Maria. Are you much of a fan of Broadway West End musical stuff? I
like a lot of it. West Side Story is pretty much as close to an opera as you could get, as far as Broadway musicals are concerned, and Maria is probably one of the most difficult songs from a musical you can do. The ending is so hard. It's very soft at the end. It's very, very hard to do, but it's a wonderful musical. There's so many great numbers in there. You've got the balcony scene in Tonight, and you've got One Hand, One Heart, and there's so much beautiful music. I mean, Bernstein, of course, did write an opera, Candida, but I love West Side Story.
And it's allowed, because it's your record. Pleasure to meet you, Paul. Paul Potts' new CD, Cinema Parody. So let's go out with Paul singing Maria from Bernstein's West Side Story. Cheers.